Hi everyone, my name is Gabriel Velasquez. I am a solutions architect with Amazon Web Services. And here today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a project we did for the Builders Fair for reInvent 2020. So the name of our project is Robo van Gogh, sketching portraits with Amazon Rekognition and with AWS IoT. I worked on this project with another colleague of mine, Cameron Wilkes, who is a R&D engineer with AWS as well. And together we built this project that I hope you all can enjoy a little bit. And we're going to go ahead, or I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about it for this session. So for the agenda, I'm going to go over Amazon Rekognition with AWS IoT, how it relates to our project and how it relates to industries in general for companies using the cloud. I'm going to go over the architecture of our project that we built. And then I'm going to showcase a few demos of the process of taking the image, processing the image, and then the arms starting the image. And then I'm going to show you a final result for one of the sketches that still needs to be dialed in a little bit with the calibration settings of the arm. But in my opinion, it's a really good start. So with that being said, let's get started. Amazon Rekognition is our video analysis service, which makes it easy to build applications that can identify objects, people, scenes, activities, etc. Many different industries can benefit from this technology, such as a farmer who's trying to keep track of his animals, entering and exiting grazing areas. A company that is trying to work on returns and to ensure that the items that are returned are the correct ones per the customer can utilize Rekognition as well. This can kind of help reduce the amount of people that are needed in the process of returns in general. The possibilities are almost endless, and we continue to see customers building amazing products with Rekognition. IoT devices have been around for a while, and I can bet you probably have an IoT device in your home right now. Your smart thermostat, your internet-enabled television, and even the pulse monitoring bracelet that you wear to keep track of your resting heart rate are just some examples of these devices. More and more, these devices are being connected to the cloud to help provide useful features to the customer. Overall, we are just starting to see the possibilities of these two platforms combined, which is really, really exciting. Entertainment is actually one of the industries that can really benefit from this meld. Companies can create products that wow and dazzle their customers with how interactive and unique they actually are. Additionally, they can have a bulk of the real work done on the back end in the cloud, while the IoT devices can act more as a front end for the customer experience. Once again, the possibilities are endless, but today I want to show you an example of what can be done with Rekognition, IoT, and AWS. So for this next part, let's go ahead and dive deep into the architecture of the Robo van Gogh project. It can be broken up into three different parts: a photo booth portion, an image processing portion, and an actual sketching portion. So for the photo booth portion, there's actually a Python script that is going to be running on the device, and it's going to utilize some API calls into Amazon Rekognition to detect if the user is, 1, smiling, 2, if there's no other users in the frame. So if those two conditions are met, then a photo is going to be taken using the Raspberry Pi camera and the Raspberry Pi and sent over to an image processing bucket. From that image processing bucket, a Lambda function is going to be triggered. And that's part 2 of this project, right? That's the image processing portion. That Lambda function is actually going to take that JPEG image, and it's going to use some libraries that you can take a better look at in our GitHub repo to actually process that image from JPEG into a JSON and SVG file. Once that image is processed into those two files, those files are going to actually be put into a processed image bucket. And in addition, a message is going to be sent on a AWS IoT MQTT topic that has the location of the image, right? That kind of leads us to part 3 of this architecture, which is the sketching portion. On this device, or you can actually split it into 2 different devices if necessary, or if you wanted to, there's going to be another Python script running that's going to be listening for a message on the same MQTT topic. Once that message is received, it's going to pull that processed image from the processed image bucket living in AWS, and it's going to go ahead and kick off the sketching using the bronchiograph library that once again, you can take a look on GitHub and see how it works. The sketch will be done in real time, and once the sketch is completed, it'll sit there and wait for another payload or another message on the MQTT topic, so that way it can sketch another portrait. So overall, that's how our Van Gogh project works. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the demo footage so you can see firsthand how it runs in real life. As you can see here, when we get to the menu, we can select to take a portrait, and then we're brought up to a part here where it's going to try to detect the faces. Now, if you start trying to take the portrait without smiling, you'll get this. It's saying you just keep trying. And I'm not smiling, so it's going to keep looping until I start smiling. And once I start smiling, it'll ask me to keep the smile, take that final picture, and be ready to go. So to continue forward, now we're going to show you how the image is processed with AWS Lambda. So this is the actual Lambda function doing a lot of the image processing, right? Where it's processing the image from the Raspberry Pi through Lambda into a vector image that can be grabbed by the Raspberry Pi to actually plot the portrait or the picture. So this is a Lambda function with 3 separate layers, as you can see here, which has a lot of the libraries that are required for the image processing. And all this Lambda function does, it's a Python script that is actually going to take that image, grab it from S3, process it, and put it into another S3 bucket with the processed image, and then send to a MQTT IoT topic, letting the device know that a file is ready to be sketched. And that's pretty much it. Very straightforward. So next, for this video demo, we're going to show you how the IoT thing listens for the message and then starts the portrait. And then we're going to go ahead and show you what a finished portrait looks like. Definitely has some calibration to get done to really improve it. But for a proof of concept, I think it looks pretty good. So what we have here is when the image is actually sent over to the bucket, it's processed by the Lambda function, added, and then an MQTT message is sent out. Well, this message, we have a listener sitting on the Pi. Right now, it's going to detect a new message. And when it does detect the message, as you can see here, it's going to download the file and start sketching the portrait. So you can see here, the device got the message. It got download the file, and now it's going to start sketching the portrait that it received. And as you can see here, this is the program running the bronchiograph library that is used for this project that is actually sketching the portrait. As you can see here, the portrait didn't come out, the quality isn't that great. But we can calibrate that and improve that with some of the settings that are included in the Brachiograph library and also the library that's used to convert the JPEG image into the vector image to improve the calibration, along with the actual arm sketching calibration we can improve through the Brachiograph settings. So this is something I'll have to tweak moving forward, but as you can see, for a proof of concept, it looks pretty good. I hope you enjoyed my Builder project for reInvent 2020. I want to go ahead and thank Cameron Wilkes once again for his help all throughout this endeavor. It was a lot of work, and without a lot of his help, it wouldn't have been done. I also want to encourage you all to check out the rest of the Builders Fair projects that are available to watch. And if you have any questions of it and just want to talk about the project in general, we will be in the chats where you can kind of ask us questions about it. And yeah, thank you very much, and have a great rest of your reInvent 2020.